Centuries ago, the Malian Emperor Mansa Musa sent his best and brightest scholars, explorers, warriors, and artisans across the great Western Ocean to discover new lands. They succeeded in ways no one could imagine. Now, 3,000 years later, their descendants have made a home for themselves on a new planet, and the calls of adventure and discovery are stronger than ever. Join creative director Tanya DePass as Invicta, the High-and-Old Blade Keeper, DJ Knight as Ikemba, the Musalian Biopriest, Michael Sinclair II as Ilay, the Misajai Lightbringer, Christina Ariel as Sila 919, the Monsagene Biopriest, Abria Iyengar as Koseh, the Hyanol Fixer, and Eugenio Vargas as the Storyteller, as they explore new planets, make new friends, and treat everyone they meet luxuriously. Welcome to the Motherlands.
Good evening and welcome back, everyone, to episode 7. When the hell did that happen? Of Into the Motherlands, season 2. My name is Eugenio. I use he, him pronouns, and I will be your storyteller for this evening. I'm so happy to have you all back. We are in the back half of this season. That went quick. We are almost halfway through our Kickstarter, which we'll talk about in just a minute. The times they are a-movin'. But before we do anything else, we should go around and introduce all of these other lovely faces that you can see on your screen at the moment. I forgot that this is the one we roll for. So first, I would love to introduce you to DJ.
Oh, hi, I'm DJ Knight. You can find me all over the internet as DJ Knight. You can also find me here as Ikemba, Musalian Biopriest, who just likes to, legally distinct smash things. It's awesome. You guys are awesome. Thanks for hanging out with us. Oh, and Ikemba's pronouns are he, him. You're amazing.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is Abria.
Hello, I'm Abria Iyengar at Quiddy everywhere on the internet, and today I'm playing Koseh, your Hyanol fixer. That's all. Both of our pronouns are she, her.
I love that we're all like, how do intro this week? I don't know.
This is my everyday life.
Fair. There's our 6. That's Michael up next.
Hello, my name is Michael Sinclair II. I go by Michael Crits everywhere. Today I'm playing Ilay, the Misajai Lightbringer. Their pronouns are they, them. My pronouns are he, him. I'm excited to play.
All right. Next up is Tanya.
Hey y'all, Tanya Seifert here. I am Invicta, your Hyanol Blade Keeper. Both hyenas' pronouns and mine are she, her.
All right, and Christina.
I'm Christina Ariel, she, her, and I play Admiral Sila 919, who is a Monsagene Biopriest with weaponized hair.
Weaponized? That it feels like a bit reductive to just say that the braids are weaponized. Yeah.
Multi-purpose, but also serve a purpose.
There it is. There it is. Now you
and
found it.
Sometimes just serve.
Welcome back, everybody. Once again, I'm Eugenio. I'll be your storyteller. Whoa, we have got a lot to talk about before we jump into this volcano encounter, but we'll get through it as quick as we can. First of all, I want to thank Die Hard Dice for supporting our endeavors in the Motherlands. We have started a new month. It is the 2nd of June, which means we have a new code for you all. You can check out our Musalian Skies dice set over at Die Hard and everything else that they have available for you. All kinds of beautiful click-clack math rocks that you can get your hands on for 10% less if you use the code. Get ready for it. This month it is code Ilay, that's ILAY, when you check out for 10% off your whole order at dieharddice.com. So get your hands on some of those. Next up, we of course want to thank Blue Microphones for helping us sound good and make sure that we are nice and crisp and clear for you all every week. bluemicsingular.com to check out all of the things they have available for you. We are very grateful to them. Of course, our show could not happen without the folks over at Cortex by Fandom. Our system for the stream show is primed by Cortex, and we are very grateful for all of their work and assistance assistance. You should definitely check them out on Twitter at Fandom Tabletop, because they have all kinds of cool stuff going on. I saw a new character sheet for another character from the Tales of Zadia, the official Dragon Prince RPG, got tweeted today, which was very cool. Very cool to me. I watched the show. I thought it was cool. And I know that they are dribbling out information as they can about their Legends of Grayskull Masters of the Universe upcoming RPG. So lots of stuff to check out at fandomtabletop.com. And last but not least, we of course want to thank our friends over at Twitch. Into the Motherlands premieres exclusively on Twitch every week, and we are so very grateful to their enthusiastic support for our journeys. That's our thank yous. I, of course, also have to mention a thank you to all of you who have pledged to our Kickstarter. One of us has the Kickstarter open and knows what our current number is. Feel free to shout that out at any point because it's great. But things are going really well. We have 17 days left and you all have been amazing. We're unlocking stretch goals left and right. We just not too long ago unlocked our $225,000 stretch goal, which is a series of one-shot adventures to get you feeling motherlandsy. That is going to be
$234,715.
So many digits in that number. 234, you said?
234,715.
Wow.
Thank you all. You are amazing.
Thank
To
you
the moon.
all. To the moon. So that's going incredibly, incredibly well. You still got 17 days left. Those one-shot adventures are being applied to all tiers. We've got awesome add-ons, awesome stuff that we're adding to the tiers as they exist. And we could not be more grateful for your support. The book is going to be awesome, and that is in large part due to y'all's enthusiasm for it, and also our amazing developers. So that's the Kickstarter. We will undoubtedly talk more about that later, but I think now it is time to talk about how we got here. Who would like to start our recap this week? Oh, yes. Oh, an enthusiastic smiley. Yes, do it, Christina.
I don't know all the other stuff, but I know at one point, no, I'm just, there was another nice moment between Koseh and our dear Invicta, as one realized the other was not maybe as bad as they thought. Debatable. Oh, and so we had to go across this like line, and there were lots of interesting ways to get across, but we had to get up the mountain first. So when we were going up the volcano, I carried people like backpack, everybody.
Like a big multi-headed backpack. Yeah. Yeah. So sorry, go ahead. You did. You took them across first, running away from the Volca, which was very cool. Not the Volca, you running from it.
Oh yeah, the little like hyperspeed cartoony like past the Volca. It was great. We did get away from the Volca up the volcano, but we had to get across, and I'll let everybody describe their little cool way that they got across. But I was really excited because I got to do the Spy Kids hair twirl with the the things.
Braid propellers. I love it. I love it. So yeah,
those are the cool parts, though.
Hold on, we forgot one.
Absolutely.
No, I said say all your things.
Oh, okay. I did a spider leg thing, but the cool thing was there was a leg, and we thought it was a corpse, but it wasn't a corpse. It was a hunter, and we made them alive again, and then we took their stuff, and then they went away.
That's true. You did send her away.
I remember that part. That was very much what's in your wallet, and it was the best.
Oh, that's right. How did I forget about that?
Yeah, sometimes you just ask for stuff.
Oh, yes. So so these are all of the cool details. We're just going to put a little bit of filling around it. You all were scaling a volcano last week. And while you were scaling this theoretically dormant volcano, you encountered several obstacles along the way. One of them was a rock slide, which nobody mentioned because it was fairly straightforward. Tiwi went in, found a way through, and there it was. Then Sila ran you all past a Volca, which is a hot rock spitting turtle reptile-like creature thing. You continued up. You had to cross the rope, which was where all the cool things happened. Cross the rope that Ilay set across a sort of little boiling pond of water that was too large to ignore. Oh, then you met Dinzoten Valley, who was the Mandarin
Poacher.
Pirate, not to put too much a point on it, pirate and poacher. We like the peas, who was there looking for Volca, and you all rescued her and then sent her on her merry way. And finally, you all passed through a cavern of scalders, which are these fungi plants that have several life cycles, and to make a long story short, dump scalding hot water on you if you're not careful. So you all passed through all of that. You were able to get to the summit of the volcano, and just before you reached the caldera and were able to see the top of the volcano in all its glory, you heard a strange sound, something sort of a mechanical whirring, and you saw a little plume of dust, smoke, dirt, something in the air just above the caldera. That is where we left things. Oh, I guess I should also mention that you all came up here because something came out of a mysterious crashed ship and flew up to the volcano, according to your companion Shoga, who is most definitely with you, just like Bertrand, who is also most definitely with you. He says out loud so that he will remember. Is there anything else from this recap that we should go over before we find out what's going on in this caldera? All of the looks of, I mean, it was a lot, but let's do it. So we arrive here at the top. As I said, you heard the mechanical whirring noise. You saw the whatever it was, smoke, debris, dust, whatever. And you all are maybe 100 feet from the top around a little corner. What are you doing?
Trying to figure out kind of what's up there and should we keep going?
It's a fair point. Fair point. Shoga is just sort of fascinated by all of this. He sort of keeps going back and forth between like, why am I this far away from the ocean? And this is super dope. And Bertrand is mostly just happy to be back with you all.
Are we doing a good job?
At the risk of getting an answer, who are you asking?
Literally anyone. I just need a little validation to keep on going.
Out. Oh,
Yeah.
Koseh. Oh, Koseh. Right after my own
I
heart.
normally have to stay on the ship, so this is one, very exhausting, and two, I've lost the thread of what we're doing here. But I do hear mechanical stuff. Do you guys hear that?
Yes, I believe we're doing okay so far. We're all alive and we've made it this far. So, and we saved some Volga, which is also quite good.
I always hear mechanical stuff.
External to you.
Correct.
You always hear mechanical stuff external to you? How good is your hearing? Can I get a diagnostic later? Is it weird to ask that?
I appreciate that you asked. Some people just stick a wire in your ear. But yes, I hear everything, including never mind.
Well, I'm going to think about that for maybe forever.
You're welcome.
Same.
Can you, would you mind very much, Admiral, getting some directionality on whatever that is? Because this is nature. So if I'm hearing something I'm interested in, that's probably the source of the problem.
That's a good assessment.
Am I able to do a scan of the area?
Yeah. So you, what are you scanning for? I guess is my question. Because yes, absolutely. But
I'm just gonna scan for heat signatures to see if they're in.
Oh, interesting.
bodies.
Yeah. Okay. So the very first thing that you notice is that I will say a basic sort of thermoscan is going to sort of blow out because what you notice is that for a dormant volcano, the sort of amount of heat energy that's not at the surface, but like relatively close to the top of the caldera, there's kind of a lot of it, and it's very hot and there's a lot of it. So details are tough to make out, but it seems as if the magma, the lava, is at a higher point in this volcano than perhaps you would have expected. If there are other more specific heat signatures up at the caldera, they're being washed out by this thermoscan. I mean, by the volcano's thermal energy. Y'all, words.
Well, at least I don't see any lava monsters. That would be wild.
Mm-hmm.
Please let us know if you do see any lava monsters.
Why would you even say that?
It just seems like something that would happen with the luck that we've had.
No,
What are we doing? I feel like we're summoning problems.
we are. Stop it.
I'm just analyzing the situation.
I'm going to keep moving forward a bit slowly because
Ilay. Oh, love. Yeah. So yeah, you can move forward and get around the corner and sort of up enough to sort of peek over and see now into the caldera. And what you see is that in fact there is a little bit of a lip and maybe a 15-ish foot sort of drop off. And then there is a cooled sort of floor inside the caldera, as you might expect with a dormant volcano. Things have sort of covered up, the last lava flow cooled and solidified. So whatever Silo 919 is detecting is not at the surface. So, hey, good news there. The only other thing you can see from where you are is that sort of in the center of this sort of caldera plain. And I would say that it's probably, I mean, it's pretty big, several hundred feet in diameter, but about in the middle of it is clearly where that sound is coming from, because you can see this narrow plume of what is now obviously sort of like rock dust being shot up into the air, and you see a hole as if something has drilled into this crust, into deeper into the volcano. That's where the sound and the debris seem to be coming from. Other than that, you don't see, I mean, there's a little bit of, low grass and shrubs and stuff that has grown up in the caldera, but you don't see a ton of fauna or there's no obvious volcas or anything like that hanging out on this plain.
Before I call Koseh and Admiral Silo 919 over, I'm going to see how stable the terrain here looks, because we're at an active volcanic site. I know you said it doesn't look like there's any active stuff going on there, but also is the ground, you said there's no plumes, but is there like at least a little bit of heat or tiny wisps of smoke coming out of the cracks of the ground? If there are cracks in the ground, I just want to kind of surveil the immediate terrain that I'm looking into.
Yeah, I love that. And I think Ilay's experience as, serving on the sort of rescue contingent of that organization that they were with before, the sorts of things to look for. And maybe you can ask Silo 919 for help in, using the thermoscan to find maybe where there might be cracks. And it looks like the crust is at least several feet thick.
Okay.
And that there aren't any lava breaches or steam vents or anything like that. At least not, not anywhere near where you all are going to go or near the center of the caldera.
All right. Koseh and Admiral Silo 919.
Yes?
I may need both of your assistance in making sure that we're not about to step someplace too hot, and also maybe the sound of that mechanical noise. I have no clue what that sound might be in regards to this area.
Okay. Do you want ideas or for me to follow your directions?
Ideas are fine, and if you can come look over this little lip over here, that'd probably help.
Okay, I go over and join them.
Okay. You see everything that that Ilay was able to see. You can very clearly hear. I think you could even probably identify the whirring and the way that it's interacting with whatever it's nearby. You are, if there was any doubt, you can dispel that doubt that this is in fact some sort of drill that you're hearing. It's definitely mechanical. It definitely has not reached the magma table, because that would sound different, and if anyone would know what that would sound like, I believe it's you.
You go on one weird moon and drill into a magma table, and you're forever the Hyanol that knows what that sounds like.
I'm just saying, it came in handy.
I needed magma. I stand by that.
Yeah, is there anything else that you would be trying to assess from out here, Koseh?
If I could, I would probably set like Tiwi and then coordinate with Ilay and Silent 919. Just try to figure out like
Admiral.
once again like stability. Like I am concerned about stability. Like
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I think Tiwi could run maybe like I don't know. I'm imagining like little like sonars, not exactly sonar, but that sort of like drop like wave scans to confirm that in fact the cooled crust here is at least a couple of feet thick. So it seems pretty stable. You also, using sort of visual and stability tests rather than thermo tests, also detect no cracks, no vents, no anything like that.
Turn back. Ilay, Admiral. So everything I've seen so far, and once again, could be wrong, but I'm very rarely wrong. Things happen. Looks like whatever's drilling down knows what it's doing, because everything is stable as it goes. So I think this was meant to be here. I'm sorry, what?
Oh, I apologize. I thought that you were finished.
No, you're good. Go ahead. You can talk now.
Are you sure I wouldn't want to impose?
No, all you. You're in charge.
I am. I wonder who would have means and reason to drill into hot magma. And Sila's going to initiate the detective protocol. It's right next to her. It's right next to her dad file, and it does not work.
The detective or the dad file?
I mean, you take your pick.
Well, okay, but I do have to ask, because now that I know that there's a detective protocol, I don't need to know what it does. I just need to know if it looks like something when you activate it. Like, does anything happen visually to you when detective mode is activated?
Oh, yes.
I knew what I was doing when I asked this question. I knew.
So as it goes up, a hat comes out. It's not a hat. It's going to be a scarf because wink. So it comes out and it's slowly like da 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 as her outfit changes. Dun da dun da dun da dun da dun da dun da Admiral Sila.
Yeah.
Hoo.
Ooh. And that is all we need. Because if you know, you know, and that's what matters. Okay, great. Ikemba and Invicta, you've heard the reports from three of your crewmates. What are you two doing as you approach this totally innocent looking plane?
Innocent. Okay, sure. I've met you.
You've met B. Dave.
I've met you.
Fair.
Say what she said.
Right. I kind of climb up. So question, and this may be a you answer and maybe also a Koseh answer since I'm wearing the modified boot. Mm-hmm. How much does the modified boot impede me climbing?
The modified boot's supposed to like enable your climbing, like repulsor tech that works in two directions. So like pulling and attracting to keep like an awkward shape attached to the side, and a strong push if you need to like move forward. So
okay,
it is there to be a dual purpose mobility aid.
Okay, the only thing I would add is if you were trying to scale something vertical or something super uneven, that might be different. But this is a pretty easy scale up to the lip and down. So yes, exactly what Koseh said.
Okay, so then I scale up there and kind of peek over. Would I also hear that as Heinel / having engineering as well?
I think so. I mean, I think you definitely know it's a drill, and I think you can definitely tell a lot of the same things. Like, you probably came to a similar determination that this drill, whatever is drilling, must know what it's doing because the rest of the table is stable. I do feel like Koseh's moon experience very specifically gave her the knowledge of the sound of magma. But other than that, yeah, I think you can confirm pretty much everything else.
Did I hear the whole I needed magma thing?
Koseh is currently still explaining it to Ilay, especially after Admiral Silent 919 was just like, who would need magma? And she's like, well, okay, here's the thing. I needed some for tests and I was trying to build something and I don't know why. It's very defensively like explaining to Ilay who's
I would expect nothing less. You have nothing to explain to me.
Thank you. Sometimes you just need magma. But I do like how they're going about getting it. It's efficient. Hi, Invicta.
Why are you yelling? I'm right here.
I was just saying hi. It's loud. There's a drill.
But
She was
we're
just
high
saying
and all.
hi, you know.
Oh, okay, we've got to go to Ikemba. We got to go to Ikemba right now.
Can I throw Silent?
There's
Like,
definitely rocks around. There's definitely
Throw her or me, either one.
Well, she would survive. You probably wouldn't.
Existence is a burden. I said what I said.
That sounds like you need the same
Koseh.
therapist that Silent does.
Koseh.
Jesus.
All right. Well, now that it's gotten existential,
These
Ikemba?
torch therapists are gonna go work on overtime.
I know they're gonna be like, "Oh, y'all, we gotta get you out of the field for a little while."
I was just watching all of these things happening
Yeah.
and walks over to
Yeah.
Ilay and Koseh and is just like, so you're saying that someone purposefully built this plane. What should we do?
Actually, what's starting to concern me now is there were two things that left the spacecraft, according to this gentleman, and one of them went into the ocean, and the other one supposedly went up here, and from everything we've known since we've got up here, there's not supposed to be any sort of mechanical implementations up here. And the only thing I can think of now that I think about it, is perhaps it's maybe one of these things that was seen earlier.
All good news, which of course continues to beg the question, so what you gonna do about it?
I would like to go down. Because it looks like she's waiting for permission. I just want to clock that out loud. She's
Yeah.
And I just
That's
look
gross.
at Koseh. I'm like, you know, you want to just go.
thank you. Sprayed.
God, my ears. We're high and all. You don't have to yell.
There is a drill, and I run.
That's the Misajai eyes ears as well.
That's an interesting thing about the Misajai. It's something about their eyes and hearing. B Dave. No.
I can
So
text him.
there you go. So Koseh, you clamber down, and yeah. So you clamber down. It's a little awkward on the inside of the caldera. The rest of you,
legs.
that's right. That's why I stopped. I was like, nope, she's
I
fine.
go down like an excitable nightmare.
It's really quite horrible. The rest of you watch, something out of a Resident Evil movie move down into the caldera. What are any of you following Koseh, or do you just sort of want to let her see what's up?
I'll follow.
Slowly starting to take my gear out of mountain climbing equipment once again.
Great. If there isn't anything else, anyone who would like to can start to make your way down onto the plane to follow Koseh. Koseh, you're a little bit ahead, and you have Nightmare walked down, and you've made it down there, and it's definitely warmer inside the caldera, right? You can feel that the ground is warm, but it's not hot. It isn't, the volcano is not about to erupt. And do you just sprint straight for the hole?
Yeah, I definitely have like Tiwi out in sort of like recon mode, and there's like a very specific like split of like I will like Koseh banks out to the right, Tiwi goes to the left, and like her glasses are filling with information that she's kind of yelling back and aloud. And it's not necessarily helpful. This is just her process as she takes off like the top half of her jumpsuit, kind of ties it around her waist, so she's in tank top mode because it's gonna get warmer.
Yeah. Okay, so lots of information. As you said, not all of it useful. Are there specific bits of possibly useful stuff that you would like to see if Tiwi detects?
Yeah, just like regularity in like sound. Like, is this drill going at the same pace at the same time? Are there vibrations that would be off patterned enough as to suggest sentient movement?
Oh, interesting. Okay, great.
Yeah. Mostly that.
Mostly that. Okay. Cool. I think what Tiwi picks up is a little confusing. There is, you don't get any sense of movement that would suggest sentience coming from the drill area. And there aren't other sort of stability irregularities or anything like that, but there is something else. Something is coming out of the hole that the drill is making. And at first you're like, oh, it's the rock dust, it's the debris, it's the whatever. But then you actually look at the readings and no, it isn't. But I will need a sort of a more specific command to Tiwi to sort of see if you can zero in on what it is, if that's something of interest to you.
I think the moment she pings something interesting, like she's still in get as much information as possible mode. So I want to turn over my shoulder, make eye contact with Ikemba, and by whatever means, like we've like originally or before did like Tiwi sending information to him, also like ping him into the relay and flag this specific bit of information as like, this is important, but someone else needs to deal with it. You're smarter and more focused than I am, as I go on about like dumb other stuff that might also be interesting. She's trying to like paint a wide map and is passing off focus points to other people.
I love that. So while you continue to accelerate forward, I'm sure, and give that information, let's now zoom back to the rest of the group that has made it into the caldera, onto the plane. What are you all doing? Yeah. Oh, but before that...
Yeah, before we do that, since people are descending down into another like lower elevation thing, we've had some experiences with that. Ilay is going to look for any sort of like tree or any stump or anything, like 2 or 3 of the sort close to each other, because I'm going to start building some sort of like rock climbing top rope thing. So if things start happening, we need to get out of there soon and fast. We don't have to, it doesn't get too wild and chaotic. So that's what they're doing if they can find it.
Sure, absolutely. That's fine. So that is going to take them a little bit longer than I initially thought, which is fine. Folks can still sort of make their way awkwardly down and they can, Ilay can hang back and set that up. There are plenty of those sturdy shrubs that you've used in the past, and you can set that up. Excuse me. Are the rest of you descending, or are you waiting for Ilay to finish their their escape system and also other things?
I followed right after Koseh.
Okay, great.
I followed as well.
Okay. And Ikemba, I assume that you did as well.
Yes, Ikemba is also like, once Koseh looked back, he got that message. So he's just like looking at the data to see what information Tiwi's passing back.
Yeah, let me okay, so while Ilay is doing that, Invicta, you're getting, I mean, you probably were the first one down and are the tallest, so you're probably the closest to Koseh. And you're hearing very firsthand even the sort of nonsense stuff that Koseh is rattling off from Tiwi. You can definitely confirm, since you're the furthest forward, you can definitely confirm that you really, I mean, unless it's nothing, you see nothing else coming out of the drill hole other than the debris. So whatever Tiwi is registering is not visible.
Oh.
7919 and Ikemba.
Admiral.
As you get that information about something else coming out, can I get your take, if any, on that? Or maybe it's, I want to get there, I want to get to the point and then figure it out. And that's fine. I want to know sort of what your thoughts are at this point.
That is essentially Ikemba. He's like, I want to see what I'm dealing with before I assume anything.
Absolutely. And Silent 919?
Admiral Silent 919 is now just kind of surveying the area. Okay. And instead of her general monocle, it is now turned into a non-mechanical monocle, just a regular monocle, but it has a little handle because it's actually a magnifying glass. And she pulls it down and she's just watching along the floor to see any changes.
Great. Keeping an eye on the floor, seeing nothing as you all head forward. So eventually, Ilay, you're able to finish up the system up there. You can get down pretty easily. That is very much in their bailiwick to, scale and descend things like this, so no problem whatsoever. As you then approach to meet up with the rest of your crew, is there anything that you are focusing on looking out for?
Nope, just hanging out, having a good time, watching everyone do their thing.
Okay, all right. So by the time you all get, or I should say, by the time Koseh, you get to maybe 5 or so meters from the drill hole, Tiwi finally is able to figure out what it is. And the reason that Tiwi was so confused is that it is some sort of transmission. It is some sort of data stream, actually, that is coming out of this drill hole. But the reason that Tiwi was confused about what it was is that it's so... This word makes as little sense to you in Tiwi as it does to me saying it. It's so dense that it is almost a physical thing because of how fast it's moving, how far it's got to go, because of something, this band of data transmission is almost detectable to Tiwi as a physical thing.
The information's very thick down here. Be careful.
How is the information thick? Information doesn't have a weight or width. That makes no sense.
There's also probably volcanic fumes. So don't take what I'm saying as anything important. But I said what I said. There's something transmitting.
And that is a good point, Koseh. As you have gotten closer to the vent, you have started to not only get hotter, but also smell a little bit of sulfur coming out. It's not, and it doesn't seem to be anything, Tiwi's not detecting dangerous levels. It's not going to choke you, but it is definitely stronger, hotter, smellier here towards the center.
Be careful. And I keep moving forward. Yeah. Man, whatever that information stream is incredibly interesting, but yeah, Koseh's main MO is just constantly checking, every time she kind of gets within a band of proximity,
sure.
Is it still safe to move forward? If so, continue to move forward and gather on the way.
Totally. So we'll say that you get to about 2 meters out. And Invicta, you're probably at the 5 meter point, Silent 919 and Ikemba a little beyond that, and Ilay a little beyond that. You all, because it's extremely loud, begin to hear another very similar sounding klaxon alarm bell.
It's probably the lava monster bell.
There wasn't a lava monster the last time it exploded, right?
I'm just looking at worst case scenarios.
Of course you are.
The worst case scenarios is it explodes, and I'm still very hurt from the last time. I don't want that again.
Is there any way I can intercept the stream of data that's coming back from Tiwi? Or from the transmission that's trying to go out?
Yes. How do I want to present this to you? Yes. For what it's worth, the minute you try to scan it or grab some of it or whatever, it is almost like a physical blow to your receptors, to your system. So yes, you can definitely try to do it. It's gonna be a test because it is so dense and again, this word means much less in sci-fi settings because there's aliens everywhere, but you know what I mean? It's so alien that it has the potential to be harmful to you, Amon Sagene.
I'm gonna try it.
Okay. All right. Well, that kicks us off nicely. Shall we get some rolls going? Is it that time? I think it might be that time. Let's head over to the other screen. All right. Yes. So Sila, why don't you go ahead and put put together a dice pool to read a very foreign, somewhat dangerous data stream, and let's see what happens. And do you have what is your corruption stress at right now, Sila? I know we fixed some of it, but I don't think it's gone. Is it a 6 or an 8?
I think it's a 6.
Okay, great.
Okay. So I know that I need to do knowledge.
That makes sense to me, yes.
I'm going to go with, operator untrained.
I'm
going to go with fix.
Go ahead. Tell me more.
No, I'm going to go with operate because I'm trying to use my operating system.
I will buy operate. Yes, that's fine.
So I'm going to use my Monsagene.
Sure. Yeah, definitely.
Because it is part of that. And I'm going to throw in my lie detector monocle because I'm using it to pass the data.
Oh, interesting. Sure. Okay. Let me roll up this difficulty. That's an 18.
Oh, fun.
Man, those are some rolls.
Sir, did you max both of those dice?
I sure did. Fortunately, I didn't max the D10 or it would have been 22.
Root. Root.
Talk to Phantom.
Wow,
a good roll. A good roll. But unfortunately, there is a hitch there. I'm gonna buy it from you. So take a plot point, but I am gonna step up that corrupted stress back to a D8 as Sila, you reach out for this, and it's we all have seen at least one of these sci-fi scenes where some character steps into something that they are not ready for and is just overwhelmed by light and sound and information, and you hold on to it for as long as you can, trying to parse out anything you can, but eventually you start to feel that same corruption. Which, how did that manifest last time?
Here I go again, girls. What's my weakness? Sorry. I'm getting it. It's coming.
It certainly is. Is there more? Because I don't want to interrupt because I always love these, but.
All right, no. Stop what you're doing. Because I'm about to ruin the image and style that you're used to.
I really wasn't
funny,
sure.
but you're making money. See, oh, sorry. Oh.
So that you see, those of you who are near and looking, see Silent 919 stop short, begin to sort of spool up scanners, which you've seen, dozens of times before. But then that sort of same corruption that she experienced after the ship explosion seems to have taken hold a little more strongly again. Not only that, but her corruption words seem to be somewhat prophetic, because it is indeed coming. As Koseh and Invicta, the two closest, you two hear a change in the sound of the drill. It sounds like maybe the drill has reversed directions and is getting louder and louder as it reascends the shaft that it has drilled in the volcano, and will be back at the surface of the caldera in mere moments.
Are we too close to it?
Well, you two probably are very close. The others are still a little ways back, so.
Going back up.
I mean, for Koseh, this is praxis. So she has now decided absolutely, klaxons were uncontrolled before. She's moving as fast as she can inside, and I would like to make an attempt to take over this machine. I want this to be
that
my
tracks. Invicta?
Invicta was about to reach and grab Koseh to keep her safe.
You can. I'm letting you know her priority and her trajectory, not what happens.
But you're also uninjured. You may be faster than me.
I have a D8 in injury. I am deeply injured, and I never rested it off.
Oh, that sounds
You really
like
didn't. You really didn't.
And you can see it. She's in tank top mode. I think you can see she has white fur with dark gray stripes, but you can see that her skin below the fur is mottled and deeply black across her rib cage, where she took the brunt of the hit and is just ignoring it. She is in her own brain and does not care about her corporeal form.
Oh no. I'm gonna attempt to just grab Koseh. We should go.
Okay, this is great. There's a mechanic for this. Koseh, if you don't want Invicta to stop you, then this is a contest between players, and that's fine, because it doesn't have to end in stress. It could, but it doesn't have to. So Invicta is instigating the contest, which means that she will roll first. So Invicta, put together a dice pool to stop your very fast, very eager Hyanol crewmate.
Oh boy. I'm gonna go with intense. And I feel like I should roll real dice, because the actual dice, the digital dice, keep lying on me and mistreating me. I don't trust them.
I apparently took them all.
Yeah, especially after that roll, I don't trust the digital dice right now.
Hopefully that got it out of its system, and now we're done with those kinds of rolls.
We saw what happened last week. We saw what happened on Black Dice Society the day after.
Well, yes, we did. Oh, that was rough too.
So a D8 in intense, a D8 of survive, if I have another D8 on my desk, and because I'm trying to overcome another Hyanol, I'm just rolling 3 D8s. They're all
okay.
A D8 of power.
Okay. So 3 D8s, you will take 2 of them and add them together, and that will be your total.
I'm going first?
Yes, you are instigating the contest, so you will begin.
Okay.
To set the first difficulty for Koseh.
Oh, Abria, you have to beat a 12, and I'm going to hold these up since I'm rolling physical dice. It's an 8 and a 4.
Also, they're very pretty.
Beautiful.
They are. Thank you, Die Hard Dice.
So Invicta, you tell me what you're doing. Tell me what that roll represents as you reach out for Koseh.
I'm going to use Koseh's own invention against her.
There it is.
I'm going to leap up, use the rocket in the boot, grab her, and just drag her back far away from this drill, coming back up as I can.
Totally. All right. So Koseh, the number to beat is a 12 with your own dice pool.
Perfect. So this is a dice pool specifically about this interpersonal interaction, yes?
Correct. About this,
Cool.
what we're calling a contest of wills, right? Because Invicta wants one thing and you want the opposite.
Cool. I'm going to use my high-anole distinction because there's going to be a lot of like low growly, like, what are you doing? Like, you should know better than this energy coming off of her right now. Focus is a skill because like she cares about the thing she's about to do, and it's not even like an active like, I don't want to stand here and fight, like, get off me, I have a thing I need to do. And because exploration and like getting into this is like her priority in this moment, I'm going to use my exploration. And yeah, I'll say that my backpack of like spider climb is out and has been assisting me in going quickly, and I would like to like divert a couple horrifying legs to try to like Heisman her off right now.
Terrible, and I love it. All right, roll that up. 12 is the number to beat.
I absolutely did not beat it. This is a trash roll, and I'm so happy.
Wow. Okay, so
this is why I used physical dice, y'all.
No, I love when my dice want to tell a story, whether or not they are
sure
pixels
do.
Let's go.
They sure do. Invicta, why don't you describe, since you won the contest, describe how this goes down while I look something up in the rule book.
Oh dear. So as Koseh is like trying to like leap down into this hole, it's very action movie moment of I use the boot, I jump up, like grab her, but I'm mindful of her injuries. I'm not trying to kill her. I just like grab her, almost like a mom lion scruffing their cub.
100%.
And like grab her and then like reverse the boot so that we just shoot backwards. And I take the brunt of whatever hit because other than my leg, I'm okay. She's the one that's all jacked up. And I'm just like, oh my God, are you trying to die?
Question, like lore question. Is there
please.
like distinct language associated with the high-anole versus like what we're all speaking as a group?
We have never talked about it, but I would assume there would have to be.
Yeah. Vutoan, because high-anole are indigenous to the planet Vutoa. So we would have like hyanid, some kind of like cat language. So imagine if we meowed or something.
Sweet. Okay. Then I think in that sort of like still isn't cognizant that like a very good thing just happened to her. She will turn and like kind of roll and snap from like, I'm assuming you scruffed her so you landed on your back. So she kind of flips to all fours and like snaps down at you like, you are a disgrace. What's wrong with you?
Perfect, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of those hitches. I'm going to buy it from you. So take a plot point and you're going to take a D6 of angry stress.
Yeah. Sweet.
Oh,
you all are such good role players. All right, go on. You make my mechanics job so easy.
Heck yeah. This is the first time that something's happened that like Koseh has taken incredibly personally.
Sure.
I actually, and if this is too much, Bria, just tell me. I actually pull my blade on her and hold it up, and I'm like, I saved your life.
And she's just gonna like, oh, go ahead, sorry, go ahead.
And it's like, you've complained at me that I didn't care, that I didn't warn you about the ship. I do a thing to save your life, and you're still mad. Call me whatever you want, but never a disgrace. And I just shove her off and get up.
I think the whole time she was just sort of growling, but didn't necessarily have a retort because that was a truthful thing that you said. So,
well, the rest of you, I would imagine, are witnessing this. I'm going to go ahead and say, because they're not going to play into this because I'm going to keep forgetting, that Bertrand and Shoka are back by they're in the Caldera, but they're back by the edge, actually. And they're there to, Bertrand in particular, Shoka really just because he's not that curious. But Bertrand stayed behind to assist you all to get back up out more quickly, should that become necessary. That feels like a good in-game reason. The other three of you, though, you have seen this I don't know, it feels sort of inevitable showdown between your high-anole crewmates at this point. But I do think that you also see something else. Out of the hole where the drill was. You all hear the whirring of the drill sort of stop, and an instant later, other mechanical sounds begin to emit from the hole. And those of you who are watching over there, keeping an eye there while you make sure that your two friends over here don't kill each other, you see one by one 4 metal legs grip on to the edge of the hole and lever out what looks like a maybe 3 or 4 feet long cylinder, metallic cylinder, same sort of strange metal as the ship on the beach. But as soon as the cylinder has fully removed itself from the shaft in the floor of the caldera, it begins to open and expand. And eventually what sets itself very quickly sort of on top of this drill site is there is a vague body shape to it. There's a clear sort of head, if you will, and torso. There are 4 arms that end in these very sharp points. And 4 of these legs that it used to lever itself out. And you watch a little beam begin to scan around the area around it.
At least it's not a lava monster.
I whistle to recall Tiwi back to me before he can be scanned.
Yeah, absolutely. Tiwi rushes back.
We all see
that's
this, yes?
not good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you all see this. At this point, I mean, I think maybe the part where it did leg by leg and pulled
Yeah.
itself out was maybe just the 3 of you that weren't in a physical altercation. But by the time it's fully out of the drill hole, I think you all have, it's hard to miss.
Ikemba just shouts, "Everyone get down." And just gets flat.
Yeah.
I'm already on the ground, so
We call that the starfish.
I don't know how far I figured I was waiting at the lip because like everyone's down there, and I figured I never like actually went down. I was just seeing everything happening.
If that's what you would like, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. So with that happening, I'll have like maybe 2 or 3 other ropes and I'll toss them down. Like, I don't know if we're trying to fight or not fight, but
Right.
there's a way out that's quick if some people don't have capabilities of getting out there fast, which most people do, but just in
Great.
case.
Go ahead.
So I was gonna go over to Invicta and Koseh and pick them up, kind of move them over, and just say, if I were you, I'd take precautions before you step to the black girls, and just put them over to the side.
what is wrong with you?
1, hilarious. 2, Koseh is fighting this the entire time. But
Do we need
Stronger than you.
yeah, no, I'm happy to concede it.
Okay.
She's been scruffed once. She's just
Sure. Just very upset. Yeah,
that
absolutely.
D6 of angry is in full effect
Just
right now.
feeling it. Yeah. I can't wait
Oh
till
my
we
God.
get to increase that. So, all of this, you all sort of hit the deck, move back. The scan continues, and I mean, it notices you all and does very clearly orient on you. And you watch as the 4 pointed arms sort of move disjointedly until they are facing, until they are pointed at you all. Now, no, you're all sort of about close together. Yeah, until they are pointed at you all. And it begins, I think Koseh is probably the only one that doesn't mind its spider walk as it begins to come at the 4 of you. I can count 4 of you because Ilay's still back by the edge, right? Yes.
Yeah. I think I'm furthest away from
Yeah.
what's going on. Yeah.
Yeah, by the edge. Yeah, or coming, but yeah. So it starts in towards you all, and I can't wait to find out what it does when we come back.
No, we don't have to take a break. We could do this.
Well, look, I
You're
mean,
the kid
we
that
will
asked
be
for
ready to
homework.
start in 5 minutes if we are all set, and that means you all too. Go take a bio break, go get you some water, get a libation if that is your thing. Do what you need to do. We are going to take a brief break. We'll be back in 5 minutes to find out what happens next. Thanks, y'all. See you soon. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for hanging out, for sticking around. We are back, and we are going to jump right back in very quickly before we do. Our very own Monskene, nope, Musalian. That's what I never actually say Musalian as they call. Whatever. DJ had to go. All is well. No concerns necessary. All is well. But we will be sans DJ for the rest of this evening. But don't worry, it works out, and you'll see why shortly. So here we are. We find ourselves in this caldera, this strange drill data sending half a spider thing has climbed out of the hole that it drilled, and sighted on you all. Ikemba hit the ground. Koseh and Invicta have just sort of separated after a bit of a tussle and are aware of this. Silent 919 scanned it and saw it and is feeling a little 2000s. How you feeling, Sila?
I feel alive. I feel alive.
Yes, I knew it would be there. And Ilay is back at the edge of the caldera, taking it all in and moving towards the group, or staying out there and hoping that they come to
you. No, I think I am going to. Yeah, I'll make my way down a little bit, because if we're getting into it, I figure no one's getting out of there. It doesn't seem like quite yet, so I'll at least descend down a bit.
Certainly not yet, but that's not to say that they couldn't, should they decide to. But at the moment, they are not making their way out, so Ilay will make their way down, and that is fine. This machine continues to have that klaxon going, and it is loud. This thing seems to be sort of surprisingly nimble as it approaches you all. Not quickly, but it's not slowly either. So if those of you who are down there would like to respond before it arrives, feel free. What are you all doing?
Koseh is going to take Tiwi, who is back in the moment she grabs onto him and kind of he wraps up and goes into her palm. He goes into bar form again, and she twists it, and it suddenly gets a bunch of texture and little grippy bits. And I mean, full on guerrilla fighter. She's going to turn and wing bar Tiwi at this big machine. I want it to stick on, and she's going to attempt to start hacking it. She had one goal, and she is not off of that goal. She's just farther away from it.
I love that. Okay. So yeah. Well, I don't think this thing wants to be hacked. So this feels like a contest. So start it up, Koseh. You are instigating this contest. What are you, put me that pool together and roll it up. And I'm gonna figure out what mine is.
Distinction. I'm definitely taking the distinction to a fault. Worries for those who can't trust themselves or their team. I trust myself too much in this moment.
Well,
and I'm it's okay. I don't have to run away or back up. I will break it. I've got this.
So remember that every time you do that, you take a plot point.
Yep. This is I would like to make a case for calling this a fix skill, because I would like to fix it to make it mine. However, I will happily say that this is probably an operate roll if I'm trying to get inside and
God, what's the difference? What's the difference in dice?
2 steps of a level, honestly. I don't mind rolling suboptimally. That's not a big deal.
know you don't. I know you don't. I think for this it needs to be operate.
Cool.
For reasons that will become clear, but I will remember fix and we'll use it soon.
Love it. I am using my specialization because I know machines, and
Absolutely,
I believe that is a machine. I've seen several animals in nature. This looks like not one of the ones from the list I was given.
Absolutely. Since you're using your machine specialization, if you would like, you can also use just your general no die. I don't know what your no rating is. If it's a 6 or an 8.
It's a D6.
Okay, so up to you. If you want to throw it in, you can, but you don't have to.
Do you want more hitches? Is that why you're asking, sir?
No. We don't deal with the no. Yes, but we don't do. Only really you and Invicta have no specialization. So I just wanted to be sure that we knew the rules of it.
Perfect. Thank you. And then as much as I would love for this to be exploration, at this point, this is no, I got to give it to my worst one. This is a glory move.
Oh,
like
sure.
this is
Okay.
entirely within her own head.
Absolutely.
Like,
Absolutely.
no, okay,
All right.
sorry. I'm going to say it's power and not glory. Exerting
Sure.
control over a thing. I don't actually care about other people watching and feeling a way about this. All right.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. I feel all that. Roll it up.
Whew, terrible roll. I got it.
Okay, roll, all things considered, but great. So
Bloop.
I'm going to buy that hitch off of you. And I'm going to say that you get a plot point, and now you also, I think it's getting to you. And so now, in addition to your D6 of anger, you have a D6 of insecure as well.
Yeah.
Because you're not sure, after everything that just went down, you're actually not sure if this is going to work. I mean, in your Koseh way, you know it's going to work, but like, what if it doesn't?
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
I love this.
Okay, so now I got to roll against it, and the number to beat is an 8.
Which
so
there's no way you could do that.
Absolutely not.
Literally
we're going to, let's see, I'm going to throw that, and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do, yeah, let's call it that. I know I'm just saying that, which is annoying, but I don't want you all to know the distinctions on this thing just yet. So
I like it. I like it.
Okay, that's good enough for now. So let's roll this up, and we have a 14. All right, so Koseh. So here's what happens. You throw Tiwi. Tiwi, this machine takes one of its arms, and the point splits, and it catches Tiwi in one hand. You can give up here and take a plot point, and I will describe the result of this contest. Or you can push your luck, and you can try and beat a 14 with a brand new dice pool.
I would like to push my luck, sir.
This is my shocked face. Go for it. Now, it doesn't have to be the same pool, because the situation is different. The contest is continuing, but the pool doesn't necessarily have to.
Okay. Is there a way for me to clear the previous roll? Because I'm like locked and can't choose new things.
Somewhere on your sheet, it should say clear roll, but hold on a second. Let me see. I'm going to roll something in my little screen here.
It went away.
End turn. Oh, that went away, didn't it?
Yeah, my little pop-up box went away, and I can't.
I think I would recommend refreshing your page then.
Okay. 4, 5.
While this is happening, I should remind the rest of you, if you would like to interfere or assist in a contest, and I think we may have a series of contests here as we go, you can do that by spending plot points to do various things. So if any of you want to interfere or assist or participate, let me know and we can talk about those rules. But also, it's all happening very fast. Ilay's like, nah.
She's not my thing. That's just not their thing.
It's just not. It's just not. And Ikemba's busy, on the ground trying to slowly move backwards to take stock of the situation before he, commits himself. Thoughtful guy that he is. All right, Koseh, what you got for us?
All right. Fixer distinction.
Yeah.
Fix skill. Like things are breaking bad, and I think she is going into her like absolute lane in this.
There it is.
Knowledge, because she's got to think her way out, and I would like to roll with Tiwi because like she's now like pushing all of her energy into him to like get past this badness.
Absolutely. Roll it up. 14 is the number to beat.
Didn't make it.
You didn't.
Wait, hold on. I can spend plot points to buy more dice, right?
Correct, you can.
Then I would like to spend a plot point to buy that 4 on my D6 to make it a 15.
You got it. So you now have a 15, which does beat it. So this creature is going to now has to decide. So tell me what happens here. Narrate this next step since you won that roll off.
I think Koseh like screams a bit when Tiwi's caught, and you see that she reaches into her pocket and pulls out just like a little keypad because like the like little bit of connection that she has with him isn't enough for this. And she like starts typing just furiously in her hand while she's pointing at it, and Tiwi breaks in half and like breaks down into these little component parts that are kind of spider-like and like more polygonal than this like articulated, almost animalian looking thing, and kind of scatters up its arm, and like a bunch of little like mites and fleas like attach on a lot of different places and like lock in. So
cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I love that. Okay. So now let me put together my pool. That's 1, 2, 3, and we're still not going to use that. And great. Okay. So my number to beat was what? 15 in the end, right?
Yep.
All right. Let's see what happens. Oof. Okay. Yep, that doesn't count. That doesn't count. Okay, so what was your, do you remember what the leftover, oh, it looks like it was a D10 was left over, and mine is also D10. So you win this contest. What do you want out of this contest, Koseh?
I think Koseh like is no longer a part of the like physical part of this altercation, and her entire MO is breaking into this thing and is going to attempt to assist if this becomes a fight by trying to power down, like wants to deal with the physical threat and is then like once it's safe again going to attempt to hack it and like get information out. But she has a flow chart of priority, and right now it is power this thing down so I can get inside it.
Absolutely. Okay, so I will give you a choice in that case. I will give you, without you needing to spend a plot point, I will give you a D8 asset of like code knowledge about this thing that you can use going forward in this scene. Or you can, if you would like to translate that into, mechanically speaking, into stress to this machine, we can go that way too. And you would apply a D8 of stress because the 2D10, our effect die match, so yours gets stepped down by 1.
I would love to give this a D8 of stress of just like external pressure from something that is smart like it is.
Great, I love that. Let's call it, where are my pens? There's like 8 of them at my desk, but none of them are here. Let's call it, and it's just the physical sort of like keeping it from moving well with all the bits, or are you going into like mess with the code?
I think it is like for right now, it is just like Tiwi is on there giving her a point of access to attempt to hack it to shut it down. I know that that's a long process. I'm not trying to win this fight right away.
No, you're good.
We're beginning a process of powering down limbs.
Absolutely. All right. So it's got a D8 of stress here. We're going to call it injured stress just because it's a physical thing at this moment. And that is fine. Now, this thing has gone back and forth. It grabbed Tiwi, split apart and scuttled all over it, and is attached now. And it sort of twitches a few times, but since it's not taken out, it continues to come towards you all. Let me ask, and I know you all know what this is, the reason I'm asking, but I also know that you're all such good role players, you're going to tell me the truth anyway. Which one of you is closest to this thing? Yeah. Oh. Sila, do you think it might be you?
Oh no, Sila's over in a corner because of the corruption. She did a hard reset.
Did a hard reset? Okay, I love it. All right, so Invicta. This thing covered in bits of Tiwi, which is a sentence that I said, trundles towards you, and one of the other hands comes at you, and it is now going to initiate a contest against you.
Oh, okay then.
So the good news is that means that I will roll first, so you will have an idea of what you need to beat when you put your pool together.
I don't trust the dice for you, so.
I mean, I wouldn't either. So this thing is going to do this, and it's gonna do one of those, and it's gonna do one of those. It's also gonna do that, and I'm gonna use your injuries at a D6 now, right? Where are you? There you are. Oh no, your injuries at a D4. Oh, okay, great. I'm not going to use that insecure against you right now, but do know that when you make your pool, add a D4 to it for that injured, and then the injured actually will clear, which we will say is, you know, that boot is really helping out there. Okay, so that's mine, right? Yes. And your number to beat is a 15, but I did roll 2 opportunities, which if you would like to buy, you could get rid of your insecure stress entirely as well if you would like to spend 2 plot points.
Do I have to do it before I roll?
No, I guess not, because your insecure stress isn't going to affect your roll. So no, I don't think you do.
Okay. And it's just coming at me.
It's coming at you with one of those arms, which as it gets closer, you see it's not just that it's very, very pointy. It is in fact that it looks like I mean, if you didn't know better, it looks like at the end of this thing's arm is a hypodermic needle. Like it is that small and pointy.
Oh, I do not like that at all. Then I am going to use, I mean, because my Hyanol, Intense, and Blade Cube are all 8. So I'm going to use Hyanol because I'm going to be looking for a way to stop this.
Great. That makes sense.
Fight, which is a D10.
Sure.
I'm using my weapon to block it.
Seems
and,
right.
I don't know what it is, so I don't feel right using knowledge, but I am going to use power or glory because both are a D8.
Oh, sure. And then just toss in, great, and then just drag in a spare D4 for that injured, and then you'll be able to clear that stress.
This is a lot of dice, just so you
It's
know.
a lot of dice.
Pray for me, y'all.
Okay, so that is an 11. No hitches is the good news. No easy way. I mean, you could spend 2 plot points if you wanted to put 2 of those 3s into your total to make it 17. But short of that, of course, then you also wouldn't be able to clear that stress. But that's up to you.
You know what? It's only a D4. I'll leave the stress and I'll burn 2 plot points.
Well, the D4 stress goes. It's the D6. It's your insecure stress that sticks around. The D4 stress you cleared by putting that D4 in your dice pool. So that's
okay. Then that's fine. That can stay.
Okay, great. Okay, and you want to spend. Okay, so you want to spend 2 points to make that a. What did I just say? 17.
17.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So tell me what this looks like. This thing comes at you, and at least for this moment in this contest, you managed to stop it. How?
So I forget, am I on my feet or was I still laying down?
I mean, I think you can be up on your feet at this point.
So
unless you want to be on the ground. I don't know.
Nah, it wouldn't be as dramatic.
Okay.
So I just since I already have my blade out anyway after the altercation with Koseh, I parry it. And since I use Hyanol, I quickly look it over to see if there's anything familiar, if there's anything my engineering background will tell me. But the main thing is I don't want this needle to jab me.
Yeah, that feels correct. Let's do this one. Yeah, so at least for this first thrust and parry, you move it to the side. You realize you can see where sort of an easy to manipulate joint in the arm is, and you just with the flat of the Aventera blade just smack that away, and round it goes. This thing is not given up. It has a new dice pool up. This time it is going to take advantage of that little insecurity that you have. What if this thing, I don't know if it's what if this thing is stronger than me, or if it's what if Koseh sees this thing get to me, or if it's something else entirely. But whatever it is, I'm just going to add a little D6 to my pool. 17 is the number to beat, and I got an 18. But I did get one hitch if you would like to, if you have, let's see, you spent 2 of your points. You got 1 more if you want to buy that hitch, or if you want to wait. So this thing gets parried away with 1, and one of the arms is split from where it grabbed Tiwi, but the other 2 arms are still there, and one of them comes at you. That's what this roll was. You can give in now and take a plot point, and it will step down the stress that I do to you. Or you can push your luck and try and beat an 18.
Oh, man.
Can we loan her a plot point?
Yeah. No, but you could use your plot point to assist her in some way.
Well, I guess
that would be with
that would be
dice for the
done
pool.
now.
If sure. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Here we go.
And that's such a high number to beat. Unless someone wants to hop in to assist, I'll take the L.
Okay. All right. So you can take a plot point. Do you
Okay.
want to just buy that hitch that I had with the plot point you're about to get and step
Yep.
down your insecure stress? Okay, do that. So though this thing gets the better of you in this contest, you realize that it is less to do with your abilities and more to do with the fact that this is a surprisingly competent foe, and that somehow, with your blade training, sends you into a place, right? And so you feel more in charge of yourself. So we'll step that insecure down, which is great. But unfortunately, this thing does get you, and so one of the lower arms zips in, grabs you right, or not grabs you, but jabs you right in the shoulder, and you can see, because it's right there next to you, this thing jabs in, takes a sample, and releases you immediately. In doing so, what was your last? Where's Invicta? D8. Oof. In doing so actually what happens, because it's got to do a good bit of stress to you. So in doing so, it actually uses its one remaining arm to once again flip you onto your back. That's when it stabs you, and it isn't sure of the thickness of hyaenal flesh, so it gets you good, and you are going to take that. I feel bad about this because it's always you and it's always injured, but you got a D8 of injured stress again.
Oh my God. I'm going to disassemble this thing.
This thing has taken a sample of you. What are the rest of you doing?
I'm like laying there like, oh no, that's not very Invicta-ish.
I liked it, but great. I have to remember to do that with Invicta.
I don't like it. We need DJ back.
I think I'm going to. Is there any like boulders or any large rocks that are around me?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Or if there aren't, like, you definitely could get one from near. Yeah, absolutely.
Instead of scrambling down, I'm gonna scramble back up and even up higher if I need to, and see if there's like some sort of rock that looks loose and big that I can probably take my staff to, and then use leverage to kind of push it down to roll it towards this thing. It's the best thing that Ilay can do, because they don't know how to fight a robot. They could fight people.
Sure. I love that. Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and you're instigating this contest. I mean, you would like to stop it with a boulder, and it would like to not be stopped with a boulder.
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna use Lightbringer because we're kind of in a combat scenario.
Sure.
So we'll do that. We are going to use, RP. We're going to use fight, which is 6, because we are fighting. And then we're going to use, power too. These are not my best stats, but this is what's going on. And I'm fighting something that I'm not probably the most proficient at. So, 8, 6, and 6 is what I'm going to do here. And I'm going to roll.
Yeah, because you're initiating, so you roll first.
Oh boy. Okay, not my worst ever.
Okay. And you have no stress, right?
No, I don't believe so. I've been
stress-free,
moisturized, living my best life. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do. I love it. Okay, so not nearly as many dice that I get to play with this time, but right. Okay, so 11 is the number to beat. I got 13. So this thing sees the boulder coming and just does this horrifying sort of like all the legs bend and then all the legs straighten, and it just sort of lifts up into the air. Would you like to press it and move forward, or would you like to take the L and take a plot point?
People are pushing. We're all pushing. It seems to be a thing. Let's just do it. We'll do the thing.
All right. So that is what has happened. What are you doing next in this contest?
Is that
you got to beat this 13, but it can be a different dice pool, because it's whatever you are doing in response to this creature jumping over your boulder.
Okay, let me think. I'm still going to be using my Lightbringer.
Yeah, sure.
And then This time I'm going to use focus because
Okay.
obviously like my timing and the way that it was going was probably not the right way. Now that I've got myself about me, maybe that's a little bit better. And then I'm going to use balance in the sense of we need to turn the tide. I see that before this all started, people were getting the scuffle. This thing came out and then capitalized on that. And then Invicta, Admiral Silent 919 also had something happen to him. So I'm trying to like turn the balance into our
Yeah,
our
I
side
get
of
that.
things.
I'll buy that.
That is going to be my roll pool.
Wait, before you roll,
yeah.
This thing does have a D8 of injured stress, which you can use if you would like. You can add a D8 to your pool for that stress. I forgot to mention that last time. I apologize. That goes for all of you. Stress works the same way for me as it does for you. So if you all want to add that, and I'm
gonna add that because if it jumped up in the air and it's about to land and it's injured, I could probably use that to its advantage. So
absolutely,
we'll make the roll. Please no Michael rolls.
Please no Michael rolls. That is very hardcore Michael roll.
Very Michael roll.
Wow.
Michael rolls the dice ashore.
The good news is the good news is that you
how could I roll so low with so many dice? It's like
so many big dice too. The good news is though that your effect die, the effect die is your effect die is a D10, which is bigger than mine, which is good because that means that I'm gonna step down what happens to you. Fortunately, you also hitched, so I'm gonna step it right back up. But it could have been worse. So this thing leaps, and what are you doing as it leaps? Like, what is this action that you have rolled this for? Specifically, narrate
I was looking
a little
I was looking for another boulder again, like maybe scaling the side, maybe a little bit precarious of the area I'm at, just because we need to do something. So
yeah, absolutely.
Looking for another boulder, and maybe as I'm pushing down, because I'm gonna take a hitch or something.
So I got that. Don't you worry.
Yeah, as I'm kind of trying to use the leverage of my staff and the rock, maybe I slip on some loose gravel as I'm doing it, and I'm the rock manages to go down, but I also like maybe start to tumble before it. So it goes off first, and I tumble after it.
Oh yeah, so I think what happens is exactly that. You grab another boulder, you roll it down, you start to lose your balance, which of course is no big thing for you, Ilay. You've been in situations akin to this, high stress, dangerous situations. Unfortunately, this thing seems to have learned. And so like the baseball greats of Earth, this thing sees this boulder coming and hits it back at you. And so not only do you tumble into the caldera, but you then get sort of plastered up by this boulder, taking a D10 of injured stress.
This is where I'm at now.
And a plot point, the good news, and a plot point, because I am buying that hitch of yours, but that is what happens. Next up, this thing, once it bats away Ilay's boulder, it zeroes in very obviously on Koseh, and is going to come and do a similar thing, or attempt to do a similar thing to you as it did to Invicta.
Yeah.
And I should have pulled this pool together, but it's fine.
That's okay.
So we need one of these.
Roll that, please.
And one of these, yeah, right. And one of these, and one of those. And where is your stress? Oh, we're going to do the
so much
injured.
to choose from.
Yeah, I can only use, for what it's worth, I can only use one without spending extra plot points. And I have, my plot points are equal to the number of players. So I only had 5 to start with, and I've already used 2. So, all right, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That looks good to me. Koseh, this thing comes toward you. Okay, not too bad. This thing comes toward you and takes the other, one of the unused arms and jabs at you. I got an 11 is the number to beat.
Okay. I would like to, all right, what are we doing? I'm not worried. I trust myself. I can get out of this.
I do too. You're going to be great. It's going to be fine.
I'm going to call this survive. To avoid to not be.
Yeah, that feels right.
No bad touch, please.
What value is this?
Power Oh,
Sure.
Can I call it
sure.
knowledge and the prevention of it learning me in the same way that I
Absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah, all of those values are double-sided. So yeah, absolutely.
Tight. And I am using my backpack to like be evasive. So
That
I'll
feels
throw
right.
that in there.
Yep.
All right,
Yeah.
please, dice, be
it
better.
has a. Oh,
Sorry, go
Okay.
ahead.
that's okay. You can roll. You can manually, if you would like, or if you've got real physical dice, if you want to use its injured stress in this
Oh,
roll,
shoot.
you can do one more d8. Hold on before you do. Let me just write 6, 4. Let me make sure I have what's in here. 2. Okay, great.
All right, I'm gonna just physically roll.
Great.
I got a 3 on the
Okay,
D8, so
that doesn't improve any
it.
of this. Okay.
But it is a buyable die for me, yes?
It is a. Oh yes, it is a viable die for you. Absolutely, it is.
Okay, then I'll spend a plot point to buy the 3 that pushes me to a 13.
Very good. Pushes you to a 13. I'm going to buy that hitch from you. So take a plot point back, but we're going to step up your. Describe what you just did to avoid the jab before I decide what kind of stress.
Yeah, I think she's like been sort of focused on this like little keyboard, and she like sees it coming, and like in this like weird mirror of like spider versus spider, like the like legs come out, and even though she's still like not focused, like there's no eyes for it to focus on, but she's focused on like her little tiwi mites, and the legs just sort of like yank her out of a direction, like in a weird direction. As it kind of like keeps her balanced, and like kind of like a chicken whose like head stays at the same level that it's at, it keeps her like eyes at the same level as she's continuing to work.
Totally. As it does jerk you over there, though, I think the needle is close. And so I'm going to buy that hitch from you to step up your insecure stress to a D8, just because it shouldn't have been that close.
Yeah.
Your spider leg should be faster than that.
Okay, perfect.
What if something is wrong? Okay, so the total was what, a 13?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's going to push its luck as well, which means we get one of these because it really wants to do that. We still use this. Now we're going to use this one, though. And still that and that. All right, 13 is the number to beat. I got an 11, but I'm going to go ahead and spend a plot point to add the 4 to make it a 15. So it's the same move as it did on Invicta, and the only reason that it was even marginally successful is because you thought for sure it wouldn't do the same thing twice, right? Yeah. It goes at you with the top arm, you get out of the way, and there's its bottom arm. You want to push it?
Ooh.
Or you want to take the L in the plot point?
I don't care about plot points. I want to push it.
Yeah. Okay, do the thing.
Sweet. Gonna use Fixer because now I'm very close to a thing. I like this.
Yeah.
I want to use. I feel like it's going to be close to the same thing over again. Like it's going to be no, which is this D6 like it was before for a skill. Because I did see this just happen.
Sure.
And yeah, knowledge, because I've watched this go down.
Sure. Don't forget the injury stress if you want it.
Correct.
The injury D8. I mean,
I will absolutely add that D8. Did it happen? Is it work? Oh, I feel like I added too many. We'll see if that happens. We're just gonna roll and see what comes out.
Great.
I think an extra. Okay, the D8s rolled the same thing twice, so I think I'm okay. I got to an 11. I can't beat it.
Okay. So the same. But the good news is your effect die is a. Your effect die is a D8, which matches mine. So mine gets stepped down to a D6, but your injury is already a D8 or a D10.
I'm a D8.
Oh, good. Okay. There is a die. One of your D10s is sitting, or one of your D8s is sitting right on top of my injured stress for you. Okay. So this thing jabs you, samples you, and pulls out as well. And it very similarly, it hurts. And that is going to step that injured stress to a D12, 2 steps, 4 and 6. So that's it. So you all see this. 2 of them are down. Would anyone else like to announce what you are doing? Bertrand is trumpeting horrifiedly, and if you all want him to rush in, he can, but the way these dice are rolling, I don't know if you want him to. Yes, Silent 919.
Admiral. So the Admiral comes over because she has been on the ground
Uh-huh.
after her hard reset. She pops back up. She's going to grab one of the spider's legs, another one of the spider's legs that's next to, it's like there's 3. So she's going to grab the 2 on the opposing sides.
Got it.
And she's going to stretch them together and start tying them into a knot.
I love it. I love it. Tell me a story with a dice pool. This is a contest. This thing does not want its legs tied up. So you are initiating and we'll do the first roll.
I'm going to start with do it right or get out of my way. Because we have 2 people down, so obviously.
Yeah.
Then she is going to use fight. Because it's a fight.
Oh, yeah.
And then we're going to go with power because she's going to need it.
she may well, yes.
All right.
There you are. All right. And if you would like a D8 for its stress. Oh, well. Oh, wow. That is a great roll without it. So there is one hitch, which I will buy, but that is a good one. All right. So let's see.
Didn't go off without a hitch.
I think it just sort of, I think when you're down there, I think one of the other legs kicks you in the face. So take a plot point and a D6 of injured stress. But the 16 is its number to beat. And I, actually, you know what? Here's what it's going to do. Because your effect die was a D4, right? So it's going to take the L. I'm going to take a plot point. And it is going to, well, I'm going to take the plot point and then immediately spend it. You can feel it more than you can see it, Sila. There is a reinforcing field that suddenly snaps up around the creature's legs. And so whatever you do to them sort of elastifies itself back out. So as you tie it up, it would have done a D4 one step of stress, but this force field that is a special effect that I'm using a plot point for undoes it and steps that stress down by 1, which negates it. You are still, if you would like to be still holding on to this thing, it is almost as if it doesn't even care that you are there. It begins to walk towards the edge of the caldera where Ilay and Bertrand are, with you still hanging on if you so desire.
I do, but I just still want to try and tie them together. I can climb all around, get them back together.
All over it. Absolutely. And I think you've got time as it makes its way over towards Ilay, if you want to do another something here before we hop to anyone else, or if Invicta and Koseh have anything they would like to add. Ilay, we're going to get to you in a sec.
Ooh. So I would like to extract 2 of my extended pieces of weaponized braid, and I would like to use I want to use the metal ones because they're reinforced.
Okay.
So I'm going to take those, and as I'm holding on to these legs, I want to throw them out and try to connect over 2 and pull them in.
Oh, cool. Okay, I like that. Set that up for me.
All right, so I'm going to go with Monsagene because that's where I get my upgrades.
Yes, indeed. Gotta love them hair upgrades.
And I'm going to use Focus. So I want to try to get it done as best as possible. Because I don't want, well, I already took them out, so it's not going to hurt me, but I still want to be able to help keep this thing from getting to my friends. So then I'm going to use power because it's going to take a lot of it to hold onto this knot. And actually not really because I'm really super strong, but it's okay.
There's a lot of power being used, just doesn't feel like an exertion.
And then I'm going to use weaponized braids. And there we go.
And then you got a D8 to stress if you would like.
Are you serious?
You want to roll another D8? You got a D8 on you, or I can write this down, and then you could roll a D8. 4,
Yeah.
3.
Right,
This was the 10, and then there was a 1 up there. Great. That hitch is coming for you, but go on. I got the rest of your numbers down, so I'm just gonna check out that 8 because I have the rest of them. Okay, so we're gonna call that the 7 there then. So we'll put that in place of that. So that is a 7 and a 4, which was 11, is your highest possible total, unless you want to spend plot points to add more than 2 dice.
Yes.
Okay, so the next highest number that you could add would be a 3 on your D8, which would give you a 14. You want to do that?
Yes.
All right. So we're going to call the difficulty now a 14, and your braids are out. They are attached. They are pulling in. Let's see what this thing can do. 14 is the number to beat. It is not. Now it's a little bit more. Oh, okay. Spending another plot point in order to make that a 16. But it's costing me my plot points, that's for sure. So this time it just, something about its gait keeps the braids from getting a solid grip right away. And so it continues to head towards Ilay. Again, only interacting with you enough to keep you from stopping it. You want to press your luck? You want to take the L on this one and take the plot point?
Somebody like nod or something. Give me a sign.
I mean, can I do anything, or am I still just on the ground like, ow, this thing jabbed me?
I mean, definitely, ow, this thing jabbed me, but you are able to, I mean, you're not necessarily still on the ground. I want to make sure that I have this right. Yeah, so what you could do would be to spend any plot points that you have to provide Scylla with assets for her next dice pool if she were to continue this contest. Outside of that, I mean, unless you wanted to get in there and, well, no, even that would still be this mechanic, so never mind.
Can I give Scylla 1 or 2 plot point worth of asset?
So you would, let's see, we're still on the volcano, so I'm getting rid of the 2 plot point thing. So you could do 1 plot point for a D6 asset and 1 D8, or 2 plot points for a D8. And that's, if Scylla wants to continue pushing the luck here.
What would you like to do, Scylla?
Is Koseh up yet? Or is Koseh still down?
I mean, Koseh's in rough shape, but she's there. She can help too.
Oh no, you're all bruised and battered. I'm not going to bother you. So,
Wow, so I guess I'm just cat food then.
No, you're like a cat. You can't eat yourself.
That got so strange so
Someone,
quickly.
I'm going to get that tattooed on my back like a tramp stamp because I don't know what it means. It feels like a Zen koan.
Oh my God, I love it. All right, so the first thing to know is whether, Scylla, you want to press your luck and do another roll or take the L.
Nah, let her suffer then.
You know what? I would like to accept Invicta's help.
All right.
In this process.
All right.
Then, oh, wait a minute. Can you like hack at a leg? Can we like Wonder Twin powers?
We can narrate it however you want. If you want to spend like 2 plot points and use your Aventera blade on a leg to try and help her, that's how we can narrate that out. It's until we can do that however you want to do it.
Fine. Wow, I have help, but what about Koseh? And it's like, okay, I got you.
There you go.
Yeah.
See, you gotta feel good about this.
You got stabbed in the arm? I don't know how you respond to needles.
Oh, I'm fine.
Wait, you're 15 minutes. Let's see the effects.
All right, yeah, right.
So yeah, my Aventera blade is a D8 anyway. So
okay, so there you go. So Scylla, put another dice pool together. You can add a D8 for this thing's injured stress and an additional D8 for Invicta's blade.
Thanks, pal.
Don't thank her yet. Let's see how it goes.
Do I need to make a whole dice pool?
Yeah, I could do the whole. Yeah, because this is the next face off. You got to beat a 16 with these dice. And Ilay, just so you know, it's coming for you, and it's going to try and do the same thing it did to your Hyanol friend. So if you want to put together a dice pool to avoid that, you can go ahead and get started.
Yeah.
I mean, unless Sila takes it out, which is totally possible.
No.
All right, Mansagene, influence, power, braids, and the extra 2d8. A lot of dice. Here we go.
No hitches, no hitches, no whammies, no whammies.
No whammies.
And stop. Holy bananas. Okay,
Let's
there's just so many
go.
dice. Also,
Let's
2
do
of
it.
those are maxed the F out. So, what's it gonna do? It is not gonna push its luck. That's for dang sure. Because it can't afford that. Okay, here's what it's gonna do. It is going to take that, and you are going to be able to tangle up its legs and have it sort of tumble ass over tea kettle, as it were. And it is going to, now, since it is taking the L, I get a plot point. Your effect die matches mine, which means for the stress, it gets stepped down by 1. So we're at a D8 right now. Since I took the L, it gets stepped down another step to a D6. So that's 2 steps, which means its injured stress, it's not taken out, but its injured stress is now up at a D12.
Welcome to the club.
Very, very good there. It is, so the legs are tangled up, and it is having a really hard time getting to Ilay, but it is bound and determined to get there. So it continues sort of dragging itself, and probably you, Silai, don't imagine you're letting go, closer and closer to Ilay, but Sila has dealt it a good blow, but it has a mission, and it is programmed to do its thing, and it is going to try to do its thing, which is to sample Ilay. So Ilay, I'm gonna put this same interesting little pool together.
I like moisturized and not ashy. It's trying to come after
one,
me.
this one, and you have a 10 of injured, right? Okay.
Sure do.
All right, so it comes after you. Oh, there's at least one hitch in there. It's a 17, but I do have a hitch. So if you want to buy that, you can dust off some of your.
I'll buy it. What do I do when
stress.
I buy this thing?
So you spend a plot point and you step your injured stress down to a D8.
Yeah, I'll do that.
All right, so the injury sort of stunned you for a moment when the boulder came hurtling at you, but you managed to shake off a little bit of it, so it's not as bad as it originally
like
seemed.
17 or something?
You need to beat a 17, or you can take the L, take a plot point, and we'll
No,
step down the stress.
I'm not going to. You're just gonna this is gonna get worse. You know, you gotta fight it out. All right, I'm gonna try and get out of the boulder, and kind of do like wait for it to attack kind of thing, and hopefully dodge and like grab it by its like needle point, and
yeah.
And then channel some of my Lightbringer moon energy into it to kind of maybe break it and stop it from trying to do the whole thing. So
I like it. And you can put a D12 in there because it's got that D12 injured that's hampering it from moving super quickly like it used to. So if you would like to add a D12 to your pool, feel free.
Anything I need help with. Okay, so Lightbringer, we're in some combat. I'm even using a Lightbringer technique.
There you go.
Survive,
use those SFX.
Because I don't want to be stabbed. And knowledge, I know how this thing fights after looking at it fighting the rest of my crew, or the crew I'm part of. So I'm gonna do all this.
Absolutely. Here it comes.
I don't want to look. I'm not gonna.
Oh, I feel great about it. It's gonna be.
No.
Whoa. Do you have any plot points left?
Plot points.
You just spent the 1 for the stress. Do you have any after that?
I can't check some still in the same screen, right?
Yes, hold on a second and I will write these down. Okay, I've got your dice, so you can go ahead and click out to where you need to.
Okay. And then plot points. I have 1.
You do have 1 left after you bought the stress?
Yeah.
Okay, or about the opportunity, I mean. Okay, so that was that was a 15, and you've got a 3 and a 4. So if you want to spend one of those plot points and add an extra die to the pool, you would beat 17.
Okay, what kind of die do I add to this pool?
One of the other dice that you just rolled would get added to the total.
Oh, yes, we'll do that. That's going to be done.
All right, so spend that last plot point, but you do succeed, and they're both D8, so I'm going to say we're going to add that 4, which means it is a 19 to beat. And as our last roll of the evening, this thing is going to try to do that, and it's really just going to blow everything it's got. That would be that. And
just like Ilay's favorite anime, they're gonna take a deep breath in and channel that in, and they're gonna try and move as it's striking, stop and channel the moon energy into their hand and just snap the thing all in one go.
Yes, I love that. All right, let's see how it goes. How many plot points do I have? Okay.
What did it just happen?
I rolled a 22.
Of course.
But I did roll an opportunity. Oh, but you don't have any plot points to spend. So.
This is my life.
Hi, mama. So Ilay, you use your, here it is. You use your Lightbringer powers, you charge that up, you grab the thing, and you watch as this thing, these two sort of probes come out from the side of it, and they sort of like the ends of like two ends of like a Tesla coil experiment thing. They take that energy that you are collecting and they take it.
Wow.
And then it stabs you and samples you. You had a D8, and you, in fact, at this point, are taken out of the scene.
Absolutely. This is
where
on
we're going to
brand
finish tonight. Now you're not dead. I want to be very clear to everyone watching. You are not deceased. You are still breathing, but you are taken out of the scene, and that's where we're going to leave it because it is already 9 o'clock. I apologize. We will do outros quick, fast, but I just had to get through that. This was something. Let's just go down the line and do outros right away. Thank you all for being here. That means we get to start with you, Tanya.
I'm just like, that number, what the hell? But hi, I'm Tanya. I'm Invicta, your Hino Blade Keeper. You can find me obviously here tomorrow. DJ's not here, but tomorrow night, 4 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Central. Find us on Black Dice Society over on Wizards of the Coast official channels, both YouTube and Twitch. Tomorrow and Friday, watch my socials, Cypher Tier. I've got some things I can finally talk about coming up tomorrow very early, and then Friday, 10:15 a.m. Pacific, so that's 12:15 for me. Sunday, more Rivals Party. If I get to hang out with you, Henio, and give Kent the worst time about these roles. We're crossing the streams. And also, happy Pride, y'all. And while everyone does outros, I'm going to see where we are on the Kickstarter. I'm just still looking at that number like that's unreal. That can't, no.
Yeah, definitely same. Moving on down the line, Christina.
Hi, my name is Christina Ariel, and I play Admiral Silent 919, the Montegene Biopriest. And you can find me on the internet at Christina Ariel, Krystina Arielle, mostly Twitter, Instagram too. It's the same exact name. You just gotta type it, and then it's me. Then you're like, oh, that's that girl. And I'll be like, oh, yeah, it's me. Like, welcome to the community. It's so excited to hang out with you. This is such a good time. You can also watch me on Star Wars The High Republic show. We just put out a new episode last week. So that is episode 3. If you are interested in Star Wars The High Republic, the books are great. We are now getting ready to go into wave 2 of book releases. So check that out and follow along. And bye. Make good choices.
Yeah. Real quick, all y'all go check out DJ's Twitter and Twitch. Streamer here on the Twitches doing awesome stuff. Also on Black Dice Society on Thursdays with Tanya, which I think she mentioned, and doing all the things. Moving on down the line to Michael.
Hello. My name is Michael Sinclair II. I go by Michael Crits everywhere on Twitter and Twitch. I'm also in some D&D shows, Second Star to the Right, which is a D&D campaign in the Neverlands, and then I'm also in Faeforge Academy, a D&D campaign in the Feywild. And then I am going to be starting to stream, probably starting next week and this week on my own channel. So that's going to happen because the quarter is ending and I get a summer break. So that's super awesome. And then just pay attention to my Twitter. Some awesome things are coming down the pipeline. NDA, can't talk about it, but I assure you it's going to be awesome and I'm excited.
Absolutely. Yes, very exciting. All good news. Keep an eye for it. Last but most certainly not least, Abria.
Hi, I'm Abria Iyengar. You can follow me on social media at Quiddie, Quiddie. There's 2 other streams I do in addition to the Into the Motherlands on Fridays. You can catch me over on Failed Safe on Pixel Circus's channel at 7 p.m. Pacific on Fridays, and on Saturdays, not this upcoming Saturday, but other Saturdays beyond that into the long future, you can catch me over on GaryCon Live's Twitch channel with the Gax Pack, which is super good and fun. I will say, big announcements coming. So stay tuned. I'm so excited.
Y'all
That's
are
all.
so dope. So many exciting announcements. I am Eugenio. You can follow me on Twitter at DMJazzyHands. Let's see, where can you find me? I stream here on a channel on Twitch, twitch.tv/DMJazzyHands. We play Mass Effect on Tuesday and Thursday afternoons. And for Pride, my partner and I play It Takes Two on Tuesday mornings. We're like tired and have coffee, and it's very cute and very fun. So come hang out with us on Tuesday mornings or Tuesday and Thursday afternoons for Mass Effect. Sunday, I will be with Tanya on Rivals. Now, see, the problem is that Kent's going to roll like shit, is what's going to happen.
That's called karma, Eugenio.
That's right. That's right. And then on Monday, I am back over with Cobalt Press for Courts of the Shadow Fae, a fun D&D stream over there, DM'd by Little Red Dot. I think that's my whole schedule. Also, we are overtime. Please check out the Kickstarter. Thank you so much to Diehard and Blue and Cortex and Twitch. We will be back with you all next week, same time, same place, for episode 8 of Into the Motherlands. I can't wait to find out what happens next. Thank you all so much for hanging out and for staying a little bit after. Please stay safe. Please stay healthy. Please get vaccinated as soon as you possibly can. And as always, happy gaming, y'all. We'll see you next week. Bye.